All right. Welcome, everyone. Today, this is Dynasty, the podcast show. I am your host, Ira Bush. I just want to say thank y'all for tuning in. Thank y'all for coming, just coming in, tuning in, listening to what we have to say today. Now, you know, now mind y'all, I told y'all I'm gonna be in a new setting, so time is gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna try to be consistent as possible on a daily basis. I just would want to say this, man. I wake up and put my clothes on like everybody else. Unfortunately, everybody does not have the same people in their families, same friendships, same abilities, and same, just same paths of life. So, I just want to say, man, stay motivated. I know for a fact I don't have everything I want. I don't have. Matter of fact, when I was born, think about it like this: there's people that are in place. You're born into your family. You have people. You already have obligations. Sometimes you don't even know about. So I'm still learning about these obligations. I might have. I might not have. I also have. You might have. Some people are born with enemies that they don't even know. So you have to figure out life. I have, unfortunately, I don't know if it's a thing that people wanted to work with me, or people might not like me, or people are confused. But I'm not. I've mastered not being intimidated by others. I try my best even in situations that I'm not, in the advantage, and that's I try to put myself in all types of situations, and I'm not intimidated by a lot of things. So hopefully, things work out for others. I feel like today I'm gonna tell you some real stuff, man. I talked about this before about just eating food and you know people having these. My life. Let me put it like this: being in America, they do all that propaganda, they do all that showboating, they doing all that flexing and it's on all ends. It's on from it's from every end when it comes to having a little bit of ignorance going on. And they want people to not remember how the whole world treat people with special abilities and special, having the ability to speak to masses, having the ability to influence. This is worldwide. That's why there's war, because the people doing war, the people are, some people, because everybody get mature and learn that once you do something when you're young, a lot of the times it's gonna come back that you gonna have to fend for that situation. So, I'm not trying to deter, but we all, like I said, we was born. Some of us, a lot of us, was born with a lie and a stigma attached to us just for being in this country or probably any country. And truth don't come out unless you actually there. Truth is not the full truth is not known unless you're actually the person that experienced those things. And I just want to be as truthful as possible. I don't. I know for a fact I was truthful to a lot of people. I don't have nothing to hide. I would not be speaking in public if I really had something. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't have nothing weighing me down. It's the difference when people want to weigh issues on you to weigh you down. And I talk about this all the time. I'm trying my best, man. I might not be put up in the national news, this that news. I don't think I won't not be. I can easily get into these arenas and easily get into these, but it won't be consistent. It won't be. It'll be. I'll have to do too much to try to sit with people that ain't even. I already know that they not on my intuitive level, like meaning like or even have my that vision, that vision board you have. Some people have too much of a selfish mindset when they get to this level, because when I was younger, I remember I was like, okay, everybody. I didn't have issues, when you're young, usually you don't have a lot of funds to go on dates. Movies was not that expensive. You feel me? Those type of look going to Applebee's or Chili's wasn't expensive back then. Whatever little small little thing we did once we got to a certain level of dating, that wasn't expensive. You couldn't afford that. But I always told myself like when my generation females, let me see, what we was listening to, the females was like, the influence was like you gotta have money. The girls was like the men gotta have money. But the older you get, the message was kind of like it ain't about the money. The money is all around you. It's about you want to be with somebody that can elevate you, that could put you in position, or you can elevate the person that's more talented or more has the ability to bring in more. It's all depends on which one is. Y'all could put each other in position. It's all about knowing who you know and how to get an experience. Now, when I was in that young age of, I think it was a little bit more easier for me. But now, like I said, internet, I didn't, I seen the internet as it's a lot of work, and I'm already I'm out the door. You feel me? So I'm like, man, I got my phone, but the phones wasn't even built like they is now for like 15, 10 years ago. It wasn't built even close. You know what I'm saying? It just had started getting real high tech and in tune with the, not needing the audience. The audience could be with you at all times, which is what this type of setting is right now. And if I had this, YouTube was there, but it was like World Star, Pay, or you know what I'm saying, that clown type of act. And I never had my whole life. I enjoy music. I enjoy dancing, and not me dancing, but I enjoy that atmosphere. It don't have to be a camera in the room. I enjoy all these things. I'm talking about when I say high level, knowing what the ear or what it's a hit, what is all type of music. Now I don't listen to all type of music, but I'm saying like I wasn't naive to not be like, okay, that's this type of music or that type of music. I'm not shunning you because you don't like what I like. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't never that type. And I could vibe with anything as long as it ain't, the word and what they say, the message. Even if it's somebody struggling, as long as they could tell their story the way people can relate or people can gravitate, they could earn off whatever it may be that situation. So not to just keep talking back and forth about anything, but stay positive, stay productive. It's a different time. People report on stuff, all this. Let's put it like this. When I decided if I was to have a career, this is some real stuff. Somebody asked me when I was younger. And it was instilled in me when I was younger before somebody asked me. I love sports. I love football. Let's put it, I love football. I love basketball. I played both about the same amount of hours during my childhood outside, but um I learned how to be, let's say, constructive, yeah, the word is competitive youth football and high school. I played football. So I learned how to learn the real game of football from being on the team and being in the level of amateur or prep, whatever they calling it now. And I didn't. I stopped there. Basketball, I just played at school, a whole bunch of people. I played a lot of hours of that. I learned the game. I watched the game. It wasn't no fantasy sports. I just watched a lot of basketball. I talked a lot of basketball. It's about the same amount when it comes to learning and playing for both of those. I never thought I was gonna make it to the NBA. I not say I didn't have the. I wouldn't say I was. I did not believe I couldn't do it because I remember ninth grade being pretty good at it. But I'm like, damn, I don't think I'm gonna be 6 foot, whatever. You feel me? So, and I actually still like basketball. I mean, I'm talking about ninth grade. I didn't even play football. I still like football. So I was like, man, I had a little weight on me. I'm like, I can't. I'm still pretty athletic. I could jump, run, catch. I wasn't as fast as I was quick. So I'm looking at it like, man, I could play, but I've been behind time of actually learning how to play with both hands. You know, it's just that skill level that you have to be at. And now that I know at that level, I should have tried out. I don't think, especially ninth grade, because I don't think though it wouldn't have been nothing to make a JV team. I don't think I wouldn't have not made it. I was just thinking I'd be thinking about this little smaller thing then. But I wasn't stunted. I was focused on my school. I got all A's and B's that year. I wasn't stunted. So What was the decision? The balance was go do your books. Now, not 10th grade, 11th grade. I'm just saying, just stay with it. Just pick, stay with it. But I chose to be I wanted to be a journalist since I was little. I wanted to be involved in speaking about politics since I learned about slavery. I One of my fifth, I talk about this all the time. Like, they had Martin Luther King, and then later, a little bit later, I learned about Malcolm X. So I look at those two people, two different stories, very similar. The way they whole angle of coming at them, I think Malcolm X kind of did it a little bit bigger. He went to a lot of places. Not saying I don't even think they would even talk about Martin Luther King, even if he was to go to Africa. I'm pretty sure they would have mentioned it, but you never know. I feel like they leave so many parts of his story out because they want people to go behind him, but then they make sure they mention the negative stuff about the person that really was very active in the whole world. So and this was in the '60s, so and from where he came to where he got. But that's how people are playing in the background because you figure out who was actually going against him was somebody that was involved in his whole group, and then it was the same kind of with Martin Luther King, but he already knew because the like I talk about with the Christianity and the church and all them stuff that was going on in Mississippi, Alabama, burning people churches, killing people for walking in a straight line, and you know what I'm saying. There was the complete opposite on the other side. That's why he went to Africa. That way he had these ties with these people and Muslim, all this going on, and they had to kill them people off. But it's the same type of energy that's coming up right now. They doing all this yelling. They doing all this warring. Everybody know what's going on. They trying to eliminate people that's speaking about these things. Anyway, I don't care if they don't CNN. They all the back rock people that got to do reports. They got to do stories. They got to talk to the lowest totem pole person in that country. These people are at risk. Like just even giving information out. And you can't really be intimidated. You got to teach your children to be very firm in their word and very firm in what they say and how they do and how they move in this time. Um, I don't have what it is. Like I told you, like I got there's these sick the real stuff going on. It's not. I heard the news that I'm hearing now is the Israeli and Iran and all that little war that was going on or started. We was heavily involved. Some people in America probably pick Israeli, some people pick Iran. I don't know who's what. I don't know if I'm even involved. I don't think I'm involved. I'm just talking about what I hear in the real news. Now, we're not gonna go too big on that. Um, and like I said, I chose to be a journalist. That was what I chose to be. This is what I didn't understand about me saying these things. I I did so much. I've been doing this for a long time. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I need to. I'm not saying I'm perfect at it. I'm not saying it's not fine. It's gonna be fine tuned. It's gonna some always be worked on and perfected because it's never gonna be perfect. So working towards perfection and I'm just happy my mind is not has not changed that much. I still believe that this is one of the most powerful ways to heal, one of the most powerful ways to solve problems and come up with solutions. And when you have a conversation and not going a way of destroying or deterring or stopping progression. So that's about it. Now we're gonna talk about you remember last week we read some of the one of the a few of the executive orders from August. I did not read a lot of them. I read a lot. I was staying on point during the summer, but the shows I had to get, like I said, the relocation. I had to make sure everything. I wasn't focused too heavy on it. So we're gonna talk about as many as we can. Because I don't like to get when you start sounding like you just saying words. That's how these things are worded. I don't want people to lose focus or even check in on it. So if it sounds like a lot of words and wordy, I won't kind of like I'll do one or two, because it's way more. I think I got like 10 to 12 more to read from just August, and then they did 6 more in September. So we behind on just talking about, just giving you the exact information of what they wrote or what they said or what they got to stand on after the fact he's out of office. And they have to make sure this person is not getting this stuff cleared through the courts just because he's the president. It's other people who have power in this country that have authority that have to go through checks and balances. And that's the main thing of why we have to put this information out. And it has to be properly done. So yeah, let's see which one we're going to talk about today, or a few we might, if it's two more than one. Declaring crime emergency in District of Columbia. I think we talked about that one. All right. I think we ain't gonna even worry about that. What we gonna do? Renovation of executive order on competition. Executive Order 14337 of August 13, 2025. Renovation of Executive Order on Competition. The authority vested in the President of Constitution of the law of the United States of America hereby order. Okay, renovation. So this was basically Section 3 is promoting competition in American economy hereby revoked. Revocation of executive. Revocation. What is, so I guess they're trying to eliminate an executive order, the executive order 14036 promoting competition of American economy. By, okay, a fair, open, and competitive marketplace has long been cornerstone of American economy, while excessive market concentration threats basic economy liberties, democratic accountability, and welfare of workers and farmers and small business startups and consumers. The American promise of broad and sustained prosperity depends on the open, competitive economy for workers. A competitive marketplace creates this. Hold on, let me, before I even continue. This executive order was signed July 9th, 2021. The person who was our president at the time was Joe Biden. So let's continue to read this because I'm gonna tell you what, it's so much going on right now. The information that they're reporting on mostly is not even stuff going on directly in America. The straw man story is the Jeffrey Epstein guy. It's so many people attached that have blue checks and y'all following them, millions of followers, making you a dickhead ass weirdos, and it just they all in a group. And I'm not saying everybody is responsible. I'm just saying they got mentioned. I'm just saying they implemented these people in this stuff. So, and I talk about it because like the problem with it is like there's people that are gatekeeping very talented people. There's people that don't know how to take responsibility for the things they've done. So, I find that very hard. Like I can't fit in with them type of people. Not saying that, I'm just saying like go in and not defend yourself for whatever the circumstance may have been. But then when you become arrogant, when you become full of power, or rented authority for say something that you're gonna need the answer to somebody, which is one of the first things you learn is consequences. So nah, I think that it's like no, I'm gonna tell y'all a story about just what happened today about consequences. This is how I know how people. I don't have to answer to these people who standing around watching me, expecting me. You know what I'm saying? And they know what dang on well there is so many holes and so many people try to poke holes in my life and stop me from being successful. I don't care how it could be 100 new people every day following me around. Y'all are the ones that are the frauds and are this and that. I was born here. I have not been. I have. This is the state I was born in. I don't have to do nothing hard. If y'all didn't cut my orange trees down, I wouldn't go in there and get some chicken when I ain't got it. If I got it, I'll pay you. This is real life. I would never. I don't. I'm from Florida. I'm a real Floridian. You grow my orange trees back, you gonna be good with me. You have my orange tree around the corner from my house, so I don't gotta worry about going to the store if I only got $1 for. You feel me? I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't really want to, shouldn't even be hungry in Florida. I should never be hungry. We had orange trees go year round. We had orange trees. We had to go to no store. We went out. When y'all decide to grow some balls and to stop hiding from in different countries and states and come back to this state and put our shit back how it was and stop fucking with shit that ain't y'all's, and we'll be okay. Or leave so shit could grow back because your bad luck is fucked. And that's all. And that's all I'm gonna keep saying. Don't never think that I'm intimidated by no rented ass person that ain't supposed to be in Florida. In the first place, you're probably hired because you snitched on everybody in your state. Hired from some evil ass shit you done did. You gotta live up to it. That's as simple as that. But there's another note. Let's continue. I'm already getting too political. Let's continue to read this. I'm gonna read this, and that's a message from me, from my home state. I don't give a fuck who over there snorting powder behind the scenes. That's the governor and the senator. I ain't doing it. So make sure y'all get y'all mind right. Start planting my orange trees, and then leave me alone. Tell your little flunkies and dummies to go find something to do. Go back to their home state. I ain't got time for them. They could keep looking because I'm gonna do my show every day, and we're gonna be all right. Let's continue to read this, and we're gonna talk sports, and then we're gonna end it for the day. Cause I don't really, it's really like not fake lit. It's like really, thank y'all whoever want to play around for let me stop. I already said too much, but um they can read. Okay, let's read it. Let's continue to read it. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. The American promise of broad, sustained prosperity depends on an open and competitive economy. For workers and competitive marketplace creates more high quality jobs and economic freedom to switch job and negotiate higher wage for small businesses and farmers. It creates more choices and more suppliers and major buyers, leading to more take home income, which they can reinvest in the enterprises and entrepreneurs and provide space to experiment, innovate, and pursue the new ideas that centuries powered American economy improve our quality of life. And for consumers, it means more choices, better services, and lower prices. Robust competition is a pres- critical to preserving America's role as world's leading economy. Yet over the last several decades, as industries have consolidated, competition has weakened into uh, the key thing that for just I don't know about everybody else state. I always say when they say several decades, one and say consolidated means get smaller, and weekends, it's not as strong as it used to be. One thing I seen was when Kmart was around and Walmart came in, and I seen that broad day like that. They was both it was competition. I don't know if you know how the back scene. It might. The only people that might have was competition was the people that actually worked in the building. I don't know if it was the people, the bosses are not really gonna be in competition. It's friendly competition. Now when they got to this, to the you hire somebody, put people in manager position, and you want them to promote your new store like Walmart was, and how they came in and monopolized and fatality Kmart. I'm telling you, when I say Kmart got fate, I when I was a young, I say when I was about 5, 6, 7 years old, one around them age, we used to go to Kmart right around the corner from our house. Um, the Walmart They built the Walmart right when we had got there. But we had a nice little thrift store that had like everything in there next to the Kmart. So that little shop lasted pretty long. And then when they left, they wasn't really losing money because it was pretty consistent on their business there. But as a whole, I ended up moving to the South, and it was literally the last Kmart was literally where I was at. So, it's all about working with your competitors, man. And I feel like they trying to put stuff out here like stop stuff. I don't know why they keep putting all this stuff in wording. Before they had a constitution, before they had all this wording and this, that land and this, that rule and all these sections and this and that, people shared. People worked together. People had to make stuff happen. I'm not going to continue reading this. This is unnecessary information. But I would tell you that promoting competition in the American economy, this is a this is executive order where they double talk. One side wants to keep working, one side wants to compete, one side wants to work together. I don't know which side is going to win. This side was on the side of working together, promoting no, or being separate. And I talked about it in the last episode about how at the top, this is how it works at the top. And we talk about strictly in the Americas, and I'm gonna start in Florida. They told stories, they give you the real history in school. What they told us, okay, they literally start real history off somebody like literally getting dropped off on the Mayflower type junk, rediscovering. This is the beginning of the book. This is might be still in the book. They rediscovered America, but before these people rediscovered, there was people settled here. There were people who looked like this settled here. There are probably all types of colored people, but I'm just saying they were the one that established life here. They ones established farm here. They established here. When people came and said they rediscovered, they wanted to intertwine with them. They wanted to build build built up for a new life, for say. So they want to start towns. Once they started these towns, they already was traveling back and forth. This is not new. This is real information they already put out. They was already traveling. He might have been the guy that was on the Mayflower. Probably was his first time, but it was not the first time people was over there. So the main thing they have to remember when they were going over there to observe and to study, these people was not in no kind of bondage or no kind of agreement with them. They just observed what they was doing, trading, laughing, joking, competing for free, for just being alive, just how things is. Now, when they came over there and called themselves revolutionizing this land, they don't come up with all these books and all these rules in the Constitution to elevate a certain country, I would say certain colored people. You know what I'm saying? It was designed off color, and you can't say because the original, the thing about the United States, it was supposed to be for people to come start a fresh new world, new land. You know what I'm saying? So these people know who was already, it was the Great Britain and all that, the World War and all that stuff was going on. They know what, I can't explain. It's in the real history books. Everybody know this is the new stuff that they putting on top of old stuff. They didn't get stuff situated. They didn't give everybody what they deserved and needed. And they still trying to throw doodle on top of more paperwork. And we just got to get it figured out. Now, I'm not going to talk about no more executive orders. I already been going on today because I already know what it is, but we're gonna tone it down. Nah, for real, man. We're gonna go right into it, man. Last night, going to the sports, I got to watch a little bit of both of the games. The Tampa Bay Bucks played they played. Let me see. I'm forgetting the scores, but they played last night. They won 20-19, and I actually think they played the Texans. The Texans are actually 0-2. They beat the Texans at home. Uh, hold on. Guess they won't be- what? Okay, the Bucks played the Texans 2019. I mean, yeah, 2019, and the Chargers had the late game versus the Raiders, and the Chargers won 20-9. So both teams, I think I might have picked the Texans, but I know I picked the Chargers to win. So, I don't know if when I spoke about it, I don't even know if I broke that game now. I think I broke another game now, but that was the two games. They had a doubleheader. It was pretty interesting. I like what the Raiders did, far as just highlighting their running back. I looked at it how I seen last night. I think he got enough quickness to be a starting running back. There's so many good running backs in the game. I definitely would not have picked him second, but he earned his keep because he had that quickness to get in those little creases and hit the hole. I think if I had to critique his game off of one game in the league, in the NFL, in the professional league, I think, and this is the running back Genty from Raiders. I will compare him. He has the quickness that I was describing earlier was more like that Ward Dunn, that fast enough than everybody in the front seven. He got to the next level all the time for the Bucks, and he all when it got winter, he was him and Mike Allstott was hitting the goalpost a lot of the times with 20, 30 yard runs because that's how tough they ran inside. So I remember that type of old school running back. I want to say he's a little bit bigger than Ward Dunn. He kind of got that Richardson built. I thought he was gonna have that Richardson was a little bit too slow, and he got picked number 3. And I said I seen the game. He didn't miss his quickness, and he catches the ball out the backfield. So I like the Raiders. I would not have picked him number 2, but he definitely was a first round pick when you get to be a starter. When you run 4 to 5 a carry, and you got the explosive, the quickness to get to the next level fast, you can make it in the league. I don't know if I'm seeing Hall of Fame, but it all depends on what's your what program, how tough you run, how durable you are. Saquon had a rough. I'm just gonna compare them to. He had the first couple years at the Giants. They wasn't a winning. That was not a winning program. He's over here the next year. He go to the Eagles, 2,000 yards, stayed healthy, got a Super Bowl. I think he might have won MVP. He might. I don't know if he won MVP for the championship, but he was in the running for the league MVP and in the championship. So that's just how that's just like that thin line between greatness and getting cut at like which color with the league now. So hopefully he pan out. He looked like he's doing okay. They have not won a game. I think they won first. Geno's over there. He got a veteran quarterback. He person he could relate to. I like where he's at standing over there. The Bucks, Baker Mayfield pulled it out. He went against a very, very tough team. CJ Stroud and the Texans are a playoff team. I think they have a lot of injuries on at wide. Tank Dell still out. Nico, I think he's still there, but I think they need a little bit more depth at their wide receiver. I think Tank Dell being injured last year, and that was a setback for CG. Actually, we watched the game. Y'all know what happened. So I think that those two was his guys. That's that X and that Z, that one and that two punch that he had. He was off and running last year. He was averaging 250 a game at that point, 220 to 250 a game with them two on the field. And 12 could have 10 plus catches a game. And they was just very explosive last year. I think they trying to figure out. They got Nick Chubb. I think they might do. They still got oh man, it made me forget. But shout out to Texas, man. I actually lied this last school year. I went up to Texas, and I actually went past the stadium, and they had a little event at they had a convention center next to the stadium. So the stadium was closed, but it was like I like the way Texas is designed. So it gave me it's very Houston is it's like Texas remind me so much of Florida, and it's probably just way bigger, and it got that root. Y'all know what kind of root? I don't want to mess up my show today talking about that root in Texas. It's a root in Florida, but it's like a straight ass. It's like a line neck this straight in Florida. In Texas, oh, it's funny. It's cool though because I hate that it's like that because a lot of black people get intimidated that are young or that have a strong family behind them. So you could get lost in the sauce in Texas as a black man or a black woman. It's a lot of propaganda and intimidation that they do over there to keep people asleep. And the same thing in Georgia, it's like spaced out people that, try to root and control very powerful beings. And, Florida, we actually probably a little bit with this, the way that they attacked Florida was definitely via the school way, that K through 12 way. It's that they would not. If you see how I just remember playing sports, I use this as because like they use sports here to their advantage. Let's just put it like that. They identified and they doom, 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 doom. And I'm talking some real. This is no more on. I'm not trying to tell children to really pay attention to my show, but I want parents to be honest with themselves. I want them, you know, what's your position in the world? How can we change to make sure they don't try to control our children, and definitely in this state, because I'm only one man. I know what my ties is for my children is in this state. I ain't saying I ain't got family other places. I love my family. I want success. This is the message that I've been saying. I definitely not going to get no family. I cannot tell y'all how much that's a rule of mine or a way of life of mine. If that's what y'all want me to hear me say. But because that brings so much karma. But that don't mean I can't correct people who are already done messed up, that are not comprehending what really is going on. When you lose a family, when you lose relatives on the same side and they all connected very closely, that means there's something going on. It might even be y'all fault. It might be jealousy and envious people attacking your family. Ain't nobody greater than the team or the family, like that group, that family group. So you cannot put yourself above if you're not thinking for the others. You know what I'm saying? If you're not really thinking for the others, and I know, let's just say opportunity will present itself where you be like, dang, look how it look. It look like you like you like my opposition and you offering me something. So I'm trying to get in there. I'm trying to find that line of like, what did y'all got going on exactly, and not being discouraged from being able to obtain my goals and my vision. So let's continue on to sports. We talked about the football games last night. The crazy stuff, man. I talk about the numbers, the numbers. I didn't I didn't I was so I want to give out the picks that I be doing because it'd be like 5 cents and 10 cents. Like I'll be just picking games. It's fun. So I'm doing that. I'm talking about last night. I think and Mecca had like 29, and I'm like I was supposed to get 30 yards, and then one of them he was supposed to get 50. So that was a little bit pushing. He was a rookie. I was like, damn, I was so close because I had did so good with all these picks, and I'm like, these people supposed to hit. The 30 yards really got me because he had 29. I was like, man, but that's just how it goes. It's like you be knowing you definitely ain't trying to impede on no game or outcomes and all that. I'm not into that. I want that jump to be the most competitive. Nobody, no hard balls hard. I don't want no extra. I just want to try to guess at me and see what it is. See if I'm still sharp on the playing and the play calling and the. You know what I'm saying? I watch enough to know. So you feel me? I could just watch from you know what I'm saying? So it's good. Football back, man. It was some good stuff going on. Now, WNBA playoffs tonight. Now y'all now look. My predictions was about my predictions was a little bit off because some of these teams got voted out. So I thought it was gonna be a little bit more competitive. So we gonna run it down real quick. The games tonight: the Atlanta Dream versus Indiana Fever. Um, now let's discuss the games because the way the WNBA is they not it's not as promoted, and I don't like how they do their playoffs. It's so discouraging because they need to have more games available during the week. Football, the it used to be like this too when I was younger, but they still had more days on regular TV. I can remember all weekend college basketball, NBA. It was college on Saturdays, NBA on Sundays, Fridays. I don't know. I probably would say so. I feel like I was at probably my grandma. My mom had cable most of the time, so it wasn't that bad. But sometimes we ain't have it. You feel me? We miss some games, but I don't know how I used to watch these games. I never felt like I wasn't watching no basketball. I don't know if I didn't. You know what I'm saying? They used to put a lot of the games on TBS and TNT. Like TNT still pretty big, but both of those companies connected and or used to be. I don't know if it is now, but but yeah, let's talk about the games for tonight. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. So game one. Game one. All the first games were played on Sunday. For game one, the Golden State Valkyrie and the Lynx, they it was 100. A Lynx had 101 to 72 for the Valkyrie. Now I knew both. This is the difference between inexperience and being talented. You feel me? This is literally the difference. I said they played probably similar. I knew for a fact Golden State was gonna put up some points. I didn't know how fine tuned the Lynx will be. And they looked like they was fine tuned going into the playoffs, but you never knew. They fine tuned 100 points, a 29-point victory. The Lynx will probably sweep this team tomorrow, which is when the next game is. And this is a team that this Golden State Valkyrie is a brand new team. This team was formulated this year. Golden State got a very big basketball fan base because the Golden State Warriors have been a winning program since I was a young person when they had Baron Davis, Steven Jackson, and boys when they over there, when they went to the AC, they won the playoffs against the Mavericks. I don't know who they beat. I remember it being that young, and probably before that they had a nice team as well, nice little back. So they had some money. Steph and them boys came in and took it all the way to the top, and they ended up getting a expansion team over here for the girls. So I like that's just them building over there in Oakland. That's nice. Or San Francisco now. I think the stadium over there in San Francisco. But shout out to them. Yeah, I think the Lynx they prepared, they ready. Now this is what I did not expect. I didn't expect to be a blowout. So the same in the game with the 2 and 7 seeds. It was Las Vegas, the 2 seed versus the 7 seed Seattle Storm. I did not think Seattle would get beat that bad. That is a 25-point victory. I'm gonna say it like this. I don't know if it's gonna be a sweep. It's a lot of veterans, but Seattle's been up and down all year. The Aces have literally, I don't know, the last 20 games they might have lost one game, some stupid number like that. So the reigning MVP is the reigning MVP. The top two players in the league are the 1 and 2 seeds. So it's gonna be and like I said, you probably gotta still give Angel Wilson as the best player. Um, I think I won't want to butcher her name, but she doesn't play the same position as Angel Wilson. She's more of a guard, two guard, or a three, depending on how they switching out in that game during them games. But yeah, the 3 and 6 seed Indiana versus Atlanta, close game. Not close. Not it wasn't close, but it was closer than those other two, and it was a 12-point victory. Atlanta won. The veterans on Atlanta have come together. And then I don't know how much she played, but I know she still played defense. So Brittany Griner is still one of the greatest ever. So it's a problem because I think she she might not even get as many minutes, but her being there, her knowing how to win championships, her actually could mentally, everybody knowing who the best player was when she got messed up. Talking about going her trajectory of staying at the top as the center in the league, she's still there. I'm happy that veteran leadership has oozed onto that team of winning character, winning the correct way, and I like that she's there, she's doing her thing. That shout out to her. I didn't like how I know like I said, I talk about life. I'm pretty sure she knew her life wasn't imperfect, but when you are I can't call her Michael Jordan of WNBA. You have Lisa Leslie, you have Angel Wilson, you have Cheryl Swoops, you have all these top players that came before him. Cheryl Miller, be on TV still. These people were before Brittany Griner, but Brittany Griner won. I don't know if she won in college, but the way her skill set, I think you got Candace Parker. I want to not forget her because all these girls are big, tall. You know, people look at them as like unicorns. Like these are people that can have a child, dunk a basketball, shoot a half court shot, close their eyes, and do a cartwheel with a pinky or something. You know what I'm talking about? Like these people are that gifted and talented. I ain't talking about like what you see on the court. I'm talking about just what God has possessed these people with. These are women, so these is just they pay their bills and to get they clout up. This is what women are supposed to do. They supposed to change things in a big way. So when they try to embarrass her, you know what I'm saying? We come from the motherland, so this is a different being that y'all playing around with, which I spoke on one of my old podcasts, but not old podcast, but an older show, and everything worked out for her. I'm in the best possible way for C. Now Phoenix Mercury, New York Liberty. It's a very close. This is a 4-5 matchup. It was in the overtime. The Liberty won. They're the 5 seed. I feel like the Liberty is definitely at the 5 seed, the most dangerous five I ever seen in my life. If you're comparing, like, they could be anybody. They have Brianna Stewart. They have Jacqueline Jones, who's been injured the whole game. They're the reigning champs. They have the number one 3-point shooter in the whole league. She could give you 30 to 20 points every night. They have another girl that's a defender and a 3-and-D person. And these people, and there's a couple people on the bench that could be starters in the league. New York's very dangerous. Phoenix is very young. They're the 4 seed. So I don't know. That's definitely probably gonna go 3 games. But you never know. The Liberty are playing at New York, so they could sweep them just because the home crowd advantages, all that. That's Wednesday. Today is gonna be the Atlanta game and the Storm. One game started at 7:30. They both are on ESPN. So I might check some of these out tonight. But shout out to the women, man. Y'all go check them games out tonight. They start at 7:30 and 9:30. It's gonna be lit. I hopefully they're competitive. Waste of time, good quality out there on the court. But yeah, but I ain't gonna say much. I think I've covered everything for community. I think I had to look into it. I don't want to promise anything. But I'm gonna just say, how about this? Next week, I'm gonna get a little active when it comes, because I don't really want to get too active. People are not moving correctly. People are worried about what people actually do inside their home and not worried about their job when they leave their house. Make that make sense. They worry about what you do in your home, and when they walk out the door, they ain't even work. They ain't even moving right. I ain't trying to move right. I ain't trying to move. Y'all know what I said earlier. I ain't trying to move right. I ain't trying to tap dance for you. I ain't trying to play with you. I don't even want you to. People cannot associate with me when they be found as the ops. They can't do it. Now, if you was joking, now if you go and take something that I did in elementary or middle school, or high school, and you want to run around at this late age of not moving on, not raising your children, and not trying to raise a family or build a family, then you not on my same side. I don't remember leaving people. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember leaving situations messed up. If I have a disagreement with y'all, 9 times 10, everything was handled that day. I don't really let nothing linger. I really did know how to ignore people that ain't even know the field that I'm playing on ain't even your playing field. It's just that's been me for a long time. I've sat with some of the most. Y'all know what God. Y'all know when y'all read a book and be talking about God, and when you learn so much and you see people say something that happened. I've been around them type of women my whole life. I've been around them type of men my whole life. So when I see how things is always gonna happen good, it depends on what choices I make. That's all, or bad, good or bad. It's the choices you make. So yeah. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for tuning in. Um, I don't think I missed anything. I don't really, like I said, I'm not. I have to get out. I probably got to go to a couple school board meetings next week. Broward or Palm Beach. People still acting slow. I told y'all what they did today. I don't have time for people acting slow. I already went up there and talked in Broward County on camera and told these people policy 1000 needs to be reviewed, and y'all need to call me when y'all ready to review it. We're gonna put this message out again because I'm not really playing. Y'all got to be carrying something that happened in elementary over to middle school. Now you got six. My daughter has 6 teachers, not one now. So you're playing even more. Now you over here. Then I gotta handle stupid people with immigrant mindset. I don't know if they really immigrants with immigrant mindsets, because once you attach to me and you have a child from me, you should be okay. I'm not. I know what I am. My people have been tested and tried 30 million times at the biggest way. You worry about some. You the help. You the help. But nah, for real, man, I ain't gonna be dissing nobody. I know I gotta keep consistent in a personal life. That's my community outreach for now. Staying consistent in a personal life, or keeping these people from not going the other wrong way, not signing to the wrong side, not being in tune with the right people. So yeah, Thank y'all for listening. I am your host, Ira Bush. This is the show, Dynasty the Podcast. I'll see y'all tomorrow, about the same time. Thank you. Thank you for listening.